still basking in the euphoria of the elections here in Anambra State. Remember, yesterday the governor collected his, certificate of return, and with the deputy governor, we are still saying congratulations to the winning team, and hoping that just like other people that are coming out to join forces with the government to take Anambra State to the next level, we cannot hope any less, for that to happen.
Yeah, while the certificate of return has already been issued to the governor, those that equally, the gladiators in the battle have started coming out to congratulate him, starting with the PDP gubernatorial aspirants in Ezenwafo. And we hope that others will follow suit, because we not take Anambra is all. It's for us all. So we can't have two governors, but then we can have a platform where many people will want to come in and show their might, and then one person will emerge. In the studio.
All right, and we are here this morning to talk about the lessons learned during that election. A lot of preparations were put in that election, and of course, we've been joined by some guests this morning to do justice to that.
And then we have Obinna Nwankwo, Obinna Urumba, SSA to the governor on media. Good morning, Obinna.
Yeah, good morning, guys. Thank you for having me this morning.
It's good to have you, and thank you so much for your effort to be here from far away.
Yeah.
All right, thank you for coming.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Also, we have Comrade Ken Okoli, President General, Anambra State Town Union Council, ASTU. Good morning.
Good morning, member. Now.
You're welcome.
Done.
Thank you. Now, let's look at in fact, the two of you, I believe, were on ground on election day, even before the election. So you are in a better position to tell us how you see the whole exercise. Let me begin with you, Pina.
Okay, first of all, I have to thank God that the people did not disappoint me, because I remember projecting here that will pass the normal 100,000 votes for the winner, up to 250, 300,000 naira, and I pleaded with the people not to fail me. But I just want to announce to you that they exceeded my imagination, and the vote was in the excess of 400,000. So it's a massive improvement from what has been on ground. We are happy that the effort Mr. Governor is making, in reducing drastically the voter apathy in Anambra State is yielding results already. So I was very, very happy with the turnout. I was very happy with the level of security, except one incident that I know is concerning the election. I can say, I would have said 100% apart from that. So, it was wonderful. I was excited because personally, I'm someone, you can say, somebody who is a young politician. So, what it means for the politics of Anambra State, for our votes to come up, for people to have the freedom to vote. So it means a lot to me. I was very happy.
Okay, now, Ken, I need you to come in here, and express your own feelings, because I've seen you over the media, you're dancing, celebrations all over the place. So let us know how it feels, what went on during the election. What's your assessment generally?
It's a very simple thing. I would say first, congratulations to all of us that worked hard for it, and congratulations to Mr. Governor and his deputy. It's just a testament that in the Anambra, I've seen his good works and have reaffirmed their belief in him to continue. Remember in 2021 election, first time, how it happened and the security challenges we had then. During his swearing in, during his substance speech, he said he applied for the job, and then Anambra engaged him. Second time, we have seen how he has been able to carry out the job he applied for. Because of that, we in the Anambra have also taken a good step to say what you did in the first time is very, very, very impressive. We are getting you back again to continue. And that manifested through that election. We expected to win, there's no doubt. everywhere it was really the expectation. But what we were not sure was the level of winning, the margin of winning. For me, I was looking at 70% and above before that election. And we could see how the whole thing ended. So we are not surprised that Mr. Governor won. We're not surprised. But what we are looking at is, like Mr. Governor usually say, he's not looking at the things he has done. He's looking at the things that he's yet to do. So it's an encouragement to him to do more, so that by the time he will be running up for the second term, he will become a beautiful bride for the future.
All right, let me come to you, Obinna Urumba. Yeah, you're welcome. The number of registered voters for Anambra State was 2.8 million, if I'm not mistaken, approximately. And the outcome was within 590,000, almost 600,000. With the landmark achievement Mr. Governor has done, the One Youth, Two Skills, and the so many things he has done, that doesn't reflect positivity. That's about 30% of voters. What will you say is responsible for that? Based on the landmark achievement and the so many things Mr. Governor has done, recording 30% voter registration. I still see that as voter apathy for somebody that has actually done tremendously.
Yes, it is still voter apathy. But I want to say that some of the things that caused it is not maybe on the side of any effort needed by the government so much. I will say that being in the village, I noticed there is rural urban migration. Personally, I noticed that. You go to the village, you find out the people who are the voting age, most of them are not even in the village. They have migrated to cities where they are looking for greener pastures. This is my own observation. Then again, there is this thing about Anambra State, that a people, the Igbo nation, a people who feel, whether rightly or wrongly, that there is no need of them voting, that their vote doesn't count. You find out that naturally there will be voter apathy. In fact, the only saving grace we have in this election are two things for which Mr. Governor was misunderstood ab initio. One is that he is doing well as a governor. He has touched most of these people, like my community, Eziago. My community, Eziago, as a matter of fact, our people took it as a kind of town project to appreciate him for making a road pass through my town. So nothing could have influenced it negatively. Well, no matter your Twitter power, no matter your Instagram power or Facebook power, it couldn't have influenced my town. Now, the second one, which I said, it was the reason they misunderstood the governor. Mr. Governor went out and said, the executive parties, if you are able to come first, second or third, that I'm going to give you incentive. Now, people said it was vote buying. But how else can you add energy to the electioneering environment, atmosphere?
You need to add energy to electioneering environment if you have done all that you said you have done. 480-something kilometers of roads, 8,000 teachers that you have employed, One Youth, Two Skills, and we are still recording this kind of low turnout.
Let me show you something apart from politics for you to understand what I mean about Anambra. I have a small business registered. And there was a day I went to the president of the Chamber of Commerce in Oka here, Oka Chamber of Commerce. He was like, please bring people to take loan in Anambra here. That it has been established that Anambra people don't take loan. Now, what comes out of it? There is an attitude about, there is one thing about the Anambra, that you cannot, they don't even value that voting as anything to contribute to whether they will go forward or they will go backwards in life. Our people don't collect money that you tell them they will put interest to pay. So there is one Anambra attitude you should know. Now, Mr. Governor now did extremely well. and said, and people now said, okay, let us, I can tell you, people came from Onitsha. One of my town, he came from Onitsha. One, the other one they call Alan Azumwa. All of them came from Onitsha. They transported themselves and the night before, and they were in the town. Everybody was like, if you are not voting Mr. Solution government, you are against this community. So what pulled them was that solution effect. But it still remains that there is an attitude that the Anambra puts up.
All right, that's agreed, because we are here to talk about the lessons learned over last Saturday's election. And some people that walked into the studio that stayed with us for analysis of what was going on across the state, some came in with reports of young people on the streets of Oka here playing football. Then some pockets of commercial vehicles on the roads, you know, some markets that were open, women trading freely. There's one, Oboko market was open. Then there's one here in Oka. What's the name of that place? Is it Mbakwo? So busy, they were so busy in the market. That's an obvious lesson that people were not eager to go out to vote on Saturday. That means there was voter apathy. Now, Ken, you know, I don't know what could be done, because even a lot of young people that I spoke with, they were of the opinion that after 2023, they can never vote in this country. People said that. So what do you think could be done to see that this is nipped in the bud?
I think when you talk about voter apathy in our system, first you have to, if you're talking about Anambra, you have to look at what we had last time. It's very important to put it in perspective while discussing about today's one, this year's election. Last election, Guber election, it was 10.3% of the total population of people that registered to vote. Now, this time around, it's more than 25%. So, can you see it's an improvement?
It's an improvement.
It's an improvement. You have to acknowledge that it's an improvement. That we've moved from the usual less than 10% or 10% down to...
That's on registration.
Yes.
Well, physically, what we see on ground, that's what we're saying.
No, you see, when you talk about voter apathy, you first you look at the figures. The figure, registered voters, how many people came out. As I said, we have been maintaining 10% down, but this time around, more than 25%. So, but what we are talking about now is that, you know, like he said, some persons who registered are no longer living in their communities. They have left their town and in search of greener pastures. Some already dead, and there is need for INEC to also look at the system and be able to update the data, because you can't continue to have people in the system who are already known to be dead. You know, you can't. It's not proper. And then you look at someone who is no longer in the town in Anambra, who has gone for a better life, then expecting that person to come back to vote when he or she probably is not contesting. I see that it will be too much, it will be expensive for that person to engage in such a venture. But then, it is still a challenge to us as a people, because we are yet to be politically conscious to understand that the citizens are the kings, while those who represent us are our servants. And not until we begin to understand that fact, we will continue to have less than 50% of the people who register to vote to come out to vote. Because when you look at it, you see some of the people who registered as electorate are not interested in participating in voting. Even some, their religious belief is they don't even, it discourages them to even participate. Now, instead, they are using it as a means of identification that they can use to do bank transaction. You see that? Then other reasons they are they are using that card for, not actually for voting.
Any solution at hand?
No, the thing there is that we will continue to
Educate.
encourage our people and then orientate our people the importance of voters card. For example, in our stock youth, we have made it since we are transformed from Asatu to Astok. We made it that as we are reviewing our bylaw, any young person that is to contest for election in the community, either you are vying for or you are participating in voting, you must have a voter's card. So that we will domesticate the use of this voter's card as a very important instrument to decide, that one can use to decide what happens in the community.
You know, Obinda said something, that some people feel their votes don't count. You know, is there a possibility of, you know, allowing votes to count in this country?
Let me ask you this question. This last election we had, didn't the vote count?
This is a general belief.
But
This is a general
Just a
belief.
simple question.
This is a general belief. There is possibility, because you know what happened in 2023? We all know.
But did this one count?
Let's get now to the next. Obina, since you work with the governor on media, as in the area where you cover is very, very sensitive. You're more like the government spokesperson, you know, trying to mop up what's out there, information that's out there, and try to correct the narratives in order to get it to the governor. Now, for the media comprises of the seen and unspoken words. And it's not just the reactionary moves of what the government would need to do in order to will I say, cover what the people are saying. My message, or rather my question is, with all the election, the preparation, and then the outcome, and now the after effect of it, what message should the Anambra be expecting of Mr. Governor come this second term?
Okay, what message?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, he will always say, in our local parlance, Amata baby is Amata. My wenesi, akara wenesi. That means he has more than we have ever seen in stock from the Anambra. That everything you're thinking about, or maybe everything you're expecting to be put in the foundation of Vision 2070 will definitely be there before he, leaves power. And maybe that may include the much talked about rail line. That may include the completion of Oboji pharmaceutical hub. That may include the completion of, setting up of Anambra misuse industrial city at Akwi. That might, we will definitely see the completion of the Oba drug market and a whole lot of things for which he signed memorandum of understanding. Of understanding he signed with people last time. A lot of the companies, a lot of those people are coming on to help to develop Anambra even more. So I think if you even look at what some of the things he's doing, you find out that the road that leads to Nobi from Ekulobia, that passed through Isofia, he already did a lot of work on that road. But to tell you that was not actually the original plan he had that place. Now he is dualizing the same place. So a lot of places will see infrastructural facelifts. The education will see funds even injected, mark what I say, even injected in it to be able to meet up with the demands of the fourth industrial revolution, as he has always said. A lot of improvement, even attitude to work. I know, in fact, believe me, I'm speaking as Obinna now. I am sure that Mr. Governor will look at the way people come to work this time around. He will bring in the soludo of discipline. I'm telling you, that's one of the things to expect too.
All right, there's an observation last week, on the part of the INEC, they were quite early because reports started coming in as early as, and most of the people in the studio that they saw it as a plus to the INEC. So what do you have to say concerning that when it comes to lessons learned over the weekend during the election?
About INEC?
Yes.
And people were happy with the
Yes,
INEC?
yes.
Yes. That shows you one thing, that the security of Anambra State has improved
Tremendously.
That's one, because last time, we couldn't even stay in our places to celebrate. It started from the electioneering process. The House of Assembly of Orumba South was actually conducted at the Kings Davis Hotel at Oka. A lot of people were killed. A lot of people were, their cars were burnt, including Nelson Omenua, as we already know. And people are still missing. Ogandi Oga is still missing. Of the then, I think it was Labour Party then. It's still missing. Now, people are in their wards. Can you believe I have been sleeping in my village till now, in my own village, and there is no sign of any kind of negative air or negative air? No, nothing like that. So one, you give that credit to government. Again, the process spoke transparency even before the arrival of the INEC people, because our people are so sensitive. If you start to do one thing or the other, you won't see people come out. So it spoke transparency from the beginning, and I think the INEC chairman, the new INEC chairman, he actually passed the acid test, because people were like, let's know who actually came.
The first assignment.
Yes, like the Shaggy will always say, "All eyes on me." The eyes was on him. So, and by the special grace of God, we didn't hear of Abokatanoze, Bulunka, Dodge. What you heard was that people came to the polling unit and then made their way with materials, which is not the problem of the INEC or the chairman or the process. It's just that people who are negative, things happen even in America. You understand? So people are happy, and even in fact, I met a lot of friends from INEC and the security. So, and they were surprised the kind of security that is in Anambra currently.
So that could be part of why they came early without any stress. Okay.
Let me come to Ken Okoli, President. Well, you said the junior governor. I think I won't be wrong if I call you the junior governor. You understand? Because you're more like, have eyes in every, town union and the rest of it all. Now, let's get to the grassroots. From the survey that we had, we still had this issue of the demographic of people that voted to be, one, more from the rural areas, secondly, the elderly. So what happened to the youth that you are championing their cause? And the governor has done a whole lot to these youth. I was expecting to see a massive turnout of youth, but the stories we heard were more like they were either playing football somewhere or were looking for one permutation or the other to key into their footballing tickets. Does it mean that after all this investment the governor has done, both on the teachers, the doctors, and the rest of it all, it's not replicating? What could be the reason that we are not seeing the massive turnout by people?
My first request will be, do you have the data? If you have the data, you can read it out so that we will see we can
the
now
demographic.
discuss it. Yes, the demographic.
No, the demographic is there. It's out there. Yeah.
What's the figure?
The figure is more of the elderly and the rural area.
No.
But most of what the governor is doing is within the urban development and urban settlement.
Youth are everywhere. They are in the rural area, they are in the urban area, they are everywhere. But one thing we've known of a fact is that when you see the demography of during election, it's very clear. Women vote more than youth follow. After youth, you now talk about the elderly people. And it's repeated this time. Women come out more to vote, then followed by youth. That is repeated again. And, we are, like I said earlier, we are having an improvement in the system. More people are having faith in the system, that yes, votes will count this time around. Looking at what happened in 2023, yes, we know what happened, but we are being reassured by the last exercise from INEC that our votes will count. Our vote will count. And we're still believing that our vote will count even when next election is being conducted. Because it is very very disheartening when someone comes out to participate in the election by casting his or her vote only for one reason or the other. You hear that there are one reason or the other, you hear that it is not who they voted for that won the election. Having said that, what we are looking at the moment is that the election that the new chairman has conducted in Anambra State is adjudged as free, fair, credible, and transparent. That even some of the opponents that contested against the Apoka candidate, being our governor, have started congratulating him. We will have less or no opposition going to court, because these are the signs of having such a credible and transparent process, whereby there will be no room for opposition party to go to court to argue it out, and thereby distracting the person who has been voted in from doing the good governance work that he's been assigned by the people to do. Voter apathy is a general issue, but as the system continues to improve, more people will be interested to participate, and let's not even rush it to say let's have 100% or let's have 80%. No, it's a gradual thing. By the time we all see that, oh, the system is improving and in our own time, then that's how people will be responding by coming out massively to participate in this process. Because not until we understand that anybody that is playing politics is acting like God. Therefore, we shouldn't leave political arena for few people and say it does not concern us. And it's not even only participating to vote that is the issue that you get good governance. Pay attention to what happens by those people that we put in power, be it executive, legislature, because it's important. One policy of government can turn a rich man to a poor man.
All right, let's now look at the electoral umpire, because part of the reason we are here to talk about lessons learned is, to forge a way forward for better elections in the nearest future. We know we have a by-election in some states too, and of course the 2027 election. Coming to the electoral umpire, where do you see areas of improvement in what has already been done? We didn't hear much of failures of electoral equipment, beavers failing and stuff, though there are a few pockets of, few failures here and there. So where do you see areas of improvement on the part of the electoral umpire?
Yeah, like I will always say, that the largest room in this world is the room for improvement. It doesn't get filled. Yeah. There will always be room for improvement.
Especially now that it's just his first time as the chairman of INEC.
Yes, there is a lot of expectation on him.
Okay.
You look at last time when they allegedly talked about an electoral officer uploading up to 700 and something votes for Senator Uche Kunife, allegedly. You see, those kind of, if he was able to do it on duty, then there is a loophole. You shouldn't be able to upload a result in that magnitude, in that error percentage up there, and then you are not caught. In fact, it took the vigilance of the Soludo team, the solution team, to notice that, and they were caught and then paraded. I saw the video. So if such things happen, it then means there should be there is an area for improvement. Then again, in my own polling booth, there was the problem of beavers not capturing people smoothly.
Okay.
It happened in my own polling booth. So I had to call the RATEC officer to come and fix things. But a lot of people, if you don't have the RATEC officer's number, then what do? Or maybe who can say, let me call the RATEC officer, because it's not everybody knows their right and what they can do. So if such person like me is not there, it means it might, disturb the voting process, mar the election. So that thing that made it to, do a kind of a start-stop stuff should be handled very well. People should just come and be captured. There are a lot of people who are still on the ballot boxes, the voters list. They couldn't still vote. And it is a recent voters card. Okay. They couldn't vote. They were complaining to me, like in my town, honorable, that couldn't vote for the governor that did road for them. They were like crying. These elderly people, they can cry for that kind of thing. So that kind of situation should be improved. And then I will also thank Mr. Governor for the effort already put in place to make sure that the Anambra decides what happens in Anambra. But I will plead with him as well to continue in that trajectory and even do more, so that now that for the first time somebody has won his election with an A percentage, I call A percentage from 70 to 100, then for now he should be aiming not to return to B. The situation should continue in the A trajectory, so that we will continue to put it in us as attitude to know, not just kind of a quick reflex that happened. So we want to imbibe it, learn it as a habit, put it as our character, that we are in this society and we must decide who governs this society. Because if I don't decide, whatever he still decides will also take effect on me 100%. So that's the sort.
Thank you so much. At this juncture, we'll call for a break. Let's get to feel the pulse of our street parliamentarians. Those are the people that actually, the electorate that are enjoying the dividends of democracy as being delivered by the governor. Don't go anywhere. The show continues after this break.
One of those things I observed that I would like the state government to look into is just the issue of insecurity in the state. The governor has done his part, but there is still much more to be done. There is a need for our leaders to do all they can to, make dividends of democracy to go round. Because from my little observation, people are no longer putting interest in the aspect of voting. Many people are withdrawing. Once you bring the issue of voting, some of them see it as if their vote doesn't count. Some of them see that the government are not providing their needs. So is there another thing for the government to look into?
Based on the election, everything went well. It was credible, it was fair. And because of the election, how it went, because before the elections, this election, Anambra were afraid of people out to vote. If you check the numbers of people that came out to vote, it was high. So because of the confidence that people are having in Soludo and solution government and governance, that was why people came out. And based on what is seen and visible, we hope that in the next election, be it House of Reps or Senate, high number of people will come out to vote.
The man on seat, the man is doing well. That is why we decided to vote him again. And we are sure that he will improve more, because he has seen that number of people love him. He will do better. As I feel in my mind, he must do better.
Obiefuna, will I say, reiterating what Obina said here, that the governor would do more. Now, I know that Akara is now, still talking, that the way forward, we need to get this thing on the good pedestal. Now, when you contest an election, an enormous effort is being put into contesting elections, the battle, the foreseeable future of winning, then plotting your ways to see actually if it will, you understand, swing in your way, and eventually, probably it does. Now, you contested with certain people of the same caliber with you, because any person that aspires to be where you are probably has the same level of understanding or probably qualification to be in that place. And now we are seeing encomiums coming in. The president has dropped his own. Other contestants are coming in to say, okay, fine, we congratulate you. Is this more like a spur for Mr. Governor to do more and not just the Anambra, but those people that he contested with to say, I think I'm the better person for this job. Thank you for congratulating me. Okoli, comrade.
Okay. Yes, it's an encouragement. It's motivational, and it's something that will show clearly that people believe in him. You know, coalitions coming from right, left, even outside Anambra.
Yeah, I started with the president.
From the president, from fellow governors.
Fellow governors, yeah.
Sending congratulatory messages to him. Of course, who wouldn't be happy? Even we ourselves that voted for him are happy that he's getting congratulatory messages from him. And we are also expecting congratulatory message to come from President Nicholas Okachukwu as well. You know, because I haven't seen the one that came from his running mate.
Yeah, Ekwunife.
So we're expecting a message to come from Okachukwu, President Okachukwu, because I went down Anambra.
Yeah.
Election is not a fight. It's not a fight.
It's a pull to come and more like you said, as a servant, you want to go and show the people that you want to serve that you can do it.
Let me tell you, my brother, it's not easy. It's not easy to be a candidate of a political party. Not everybody is qualified to be a candidate of a political party. That's the thing, because there are
procedures,
processes that we have to are in place to even ensure that you are qualified to become a political party, a candidate of a political party. So, and then how much more becoming a candidate of an opposition party, a main opposition party in the state, because obviously you are the leader of that party in the state. So we are expecting the congratulations to come from him and other bigwigs who participated also in that election to send him congratulatory message. In fact, you see, the way I see it is this. Anambra is showing an example that other states should follow. We are brothers. We are not fighting. We are in a contest because that is what the law says. After 4 years now, another person will come out, another opportunity will be available for the people to reaffirm their faith in a particular leader to lead them. You see, so it's a good thing.
All right, Obina, let's look at the way security was handled during the election, if there is any room for improvement in that regard, especially when it concerns the way the policemen were moved in from other states across the country. You know, this could put fears. In fact, not it could, because there was a time I worked on radio prior to election in Anambra State. You know, people were calling in, expressing how fearful they were about coming out due to the announcement of large number of troops being moved from different parts of the country into the state. I don't know whether there could be a discreet way of doing such things, you know, that security will be on ground, but people, you know, getting fidgeting that they don't know whether they will go out there and meet maybe stray bullet because of the large number of security men brought into the state.
I'll talk in two ways. One is that personally, as Obini, the security men were much. They were more
because they were even commenting, we say, Anaija, Anamoya, do these such things.
They are much, but you don't have to blame the presidency and Mr. Governor.
Okay.
And INEC, because it's what INEC demanded for that was given to them. You understand? In a place we are since 2019, there has been a lot of insecurity in the state, and Mr. Governor now came and now solve the problem of insecurity, because I know the problem of insecurity has been solved here. Even in the church, even in America, there are incidents of insecurity on daily basis. So you cannot, I don't think you can have an entirely or 100% secure place. Unless that is in the paradise we are talking about in heaven. You understand? So I can say Mr. Governor has solved the issue of insecurity in Anambra State. Not because of the election. Because it was a strategic, systematic dismantling of the infrastructure of insecurity in Anambra State. Check from the time he pursued them away from Agule, Zechuku, Oboji area, every other places, and then they returned. Changed strategy, and Mr. Governor changed strategy, went into a research, found out what was the major problem, arrested some people and he needed to arrest it, and it was like cutting the head of a snake. No matter how it will at the end of the day, the snake will still die. You know, if you cut off the head of a snake now, the body will still be shaking. So the body of the insecurity of Anambra State, the head was already cut off, and the body was showing signs, and as I'm talking to you now, the body has died. You see videos of people going to Achala, videos of people going to say the camp, they have run away from their camps. It didn't start in a day. Rome was never built in a day. The setting up of the Agone Chamber Security Outfit, constitutionally, putting it in our law, so that whatever they do, they will also have the confidence that the law is protecting them to the extent it allows for such protection. And again, you do gachi stop. So it culminated into the election, but a lot of fear was still there because these things are not like hunger, where you eat apple and the hunger is gone. So the fear has already been there. People were still at the window, checking. Is it really true? Is that really true? But in fact, with what my brother said here, I can tell you, I am projecting another one that will come to pass. The other time I projected 250, 300 and above. Now I am projecting that when Mr. Governor leaves office and hands over to the next governor, it might improve again by another 200%. Because the security is here, the transparency is here, the renewed faith in governance is also coming in. Because when you see a governor who is up there in the list of fiscal transparency in Nigeria, and it's called the state with the highest state in the ease of doing business, and people are seeing it materialize into democratic dividends. People are getting from the 1 to 2 skills. People are employed. They are seeing that they are secured. There is a flyover person. There is a new city entirely in a club. You see, so people are now trusting the government again, and that will definitely help in the race against voter apathy in Anambra.
Thank you so much, Comrade Obina Oruba. Well, as we wrap up quickly, let me start with Comrade. Let me start with Comrade. So, what do we expect from Anambrians come the next general election?
What we expect from Anambra people?
I'm talking about the next general election. I'm not talking about.
The next general election will be 2027.
Yeah.
Okay. More people will come out to vote, and we'll be looking at people that will be coming out for that election as a candidate of the party.
Because we don't want to say, because this is more like, it's not more like Anambra elections, so let us just be sitting on the fence and watch, but we need to pull our weight. I want that figure to be clocking 1 million. That's what I want to see.
You're so passionate about this.
I'm really, because educationally we are up there.
Yeah.
Economically we are up there. Financially as a state we are up there.
So
commercially so why would participating in an election that shows that you know what is happening in a country, you know what's happening in a state, is not reflecting? That's just my worry. There's a disconnect. So if we can't get it right with the numbers that we're pulling and getting people to come and lead us, then that means we might equally contribute in not having the right person to rule the entire nation. So there should be a need, and as in inwardly, for Anambra to show. Population-wise, we are bigger than so many states in this country, but election-wise, we are like the midget amongst the giants.
2 days before the election, there was a meeting of INEC and stakeholders, even the candidates and the political party leaders were invited, and the meeting was held at Dora Kunyele. I had the opportunity to say something on behalf of the youth at that gathering, and I was specific in what I told the chairman of INEC. I told him, I said, what the young people are expecting from him is just one simple thing: free, fair, credible, and transparent election. And I ended that talk with this. I told them that this Anambra election, if we see how, if it goes seamlessly, without hitches, and it's free, fair, credible, and transparent, and the 2027 go the same line, that he would be expecting that in Kaduna, different states, even in Anambra, where a child will be born and they will name him after, or her after Ojo, being his name. You know, it's a simple thing. And they're saying that this will be a legacy. It will be a sign of legacy that you will be leaving behind for our country, Nigeria. Because, you see, election is a topical issue in our country.
Very, very.
A topical issue. And the earlier we solve that problem, the better for everybody. Because we cannot continue to be denying the fact that we have issue with the election in this country. We have. You know, you do it. But people are even saying, okay, what happened in Anambra? Did it happen in Edo? What happened in Edo? Did it happen in Anambra? You know? And then, what are we expecting in 2027? What we are expecting in 2027 is one simple thing: free, fair, credible, and transparent election. And anybody who attempts to go the other way, I don't know, but the fact is this: I think Nigerians are waking up more, are being conscious again to see how that 2027 election will turn out. Because if anything short of free and fair election, 2027, let me not predict, but I don't think Nigerians will keep quiet anymore.
All right, let's look at the issue of mobilizing workers for election day. You know, there are so many people in the field that worked for this election. Actually, we got a call from someone called from Newi and complained that he was coming out from his house and saw some people that are supposed to go and do work, either for ad hoc staff or something, that they refused to go. Reason that they were not given their money they're supposed to use for the election. So when it comes to mobilizing your workers, you know, what do we have to do, or what do we learn from that you want somebody to go and do some work? You're supposed to mobilize the person before the person goes. It's not like monthly, at the end of the month you pay salary or what. But this is a special duty that somebody is going for. You're supposed to mobilize the person before the person goes for that duty. And at the end of the day, you didn't do that. So what does that speak of us?
Well, there should be more work in the area of reorientation, and that did not change. The society has gone left somehow by, you know, not paying attention to what are the real values in our society. You know, there is no morality anymore. That's why you see a young man who is supposed to go and work to determine who, you know, takes care of all our common patrimony, and you're playing football. Job will still be done more in the area of enlightenment, public enlightenment, to let them know that it's not about that 20 or 30,000 naira they are being paid. That it's more about sacrifice for the state. And I also saw it. You understand? When people pay, no, in fact, they were like, and we are not going to work. So enough work, more work will be put, you know, in the area of public enlightenment, reorientation, and then.
And whereby funds were released for the purpose, why withhold the funds? Even you will agree that there are some people, when you go out now, you'll find out that there are some people that are supposed to receive some payment that have not received up till now.
Apart from that, is even if the payment didn't come, there are things you are taught in, like Rotaract Junior
Okay,
Chambers
okay.
International. There are things you are being taught. It's not about the money.
Yeah.
If you are paid, fine. For me, I go into these things, not minding.
There is room
Yes.
for voluntary work anyway.
People should volunteer even to do this.
Okay.
No, it's not about the money. Only, okay, if you want to correct the system, you are complaining they did not pay you. Then where does your attention lie? Is it in the correcting of a system or in the money that was supposed to pay you? You said you are the problem because you need repentance as well.
But when you know that there is money mapped out for that, and you're not giving,
And
that's what we are saying.
We already concluded that the system is bad.
Okay.
No, the banks totally ambe. Sometimes you carry arrow, Guber on your back, and then go and change the situation. So you cannot change that situation by reminding yourself they paid the money and they didn't give to me. No problem. Hold your money. We are going to change this system. You know, people should become these are former labor Adams Oshomole of labor. People should be, you know, some of these are role models. So I think, like I concluded in my own stuff, that work should be put up more in the area of public enlightenment, or reorientation of the people, you know, instilling the real and the right values in them. But again, I will also say any person, any government at any level in the state, continue to look up to who we are following, Mr. Governor. With him, if you're still, you know, looking up to him, if he's instilling the discipline in you, it is reflecting on the faith and hope people are having in a government. It might as well make them to understand these preachings we are doing.
Okay, let's still talk a little bit about the INEC, talking about, based on what Comrade Okoli said here with the session they had, where he had to, you know, tell them that INEC needs credible election to give to Nigerians based on the Anambra election. Now, going on the reform currently that is on the table of the National Assembly, there are a whole lot of reforms that we are expecting, Nigerians are expecting, and we're expecting those reforms to come out very soon. And one of such reforms is penalties for things like vote buying, ballot snatching. There should be agencies that will be handling those things. And again, talk about digital way of voting, internet, so that people in diaspora, like you said, some people have migrated from their locality and they are now in urban areas. But with your phone, you can vote anywhere you are, so long there is a portal that INEC has already created. And that will probably, you know, mitigate against people that will go outside there to be playing football while they should be voting or going to the market.
They'll still vote and go and play football.
Yeah, and go and play football. You know, it makes it a whole lot easy. Some of them don't even have money to even transport themselves from their location to go and vote. And then people in diaspora too can equally vote and contribute in that process. You understand? Because at the long run of it, what we are presently doing is costing the Nigerian nation. But when you go with the digital stuff, it will reduce the cost, and then it will even mitigate against this ballot snatching, and then
improve participation.
You understand? Improve participation, and then reduce the tendency of manipulation. In any of those interfaces you've had with INEC officials, has this been discussed so that INEC will even make it expedient to give Nigerians what they actually deserve?
My brother, it's pathetic that we are operating at this level, knowing fully well what is obtainable all over the world. There's nothing difficult for us to upgrade our system in terms of the electoral process.
And virtually everybody is using a smartphone.
Even with ordinary phone, you can still vote.
Transactions without going to company, without going to market, without going to seamlessly. Now, you're supposed to do voting without minding how to protect your vote, moving the ballot box to the collation center and wait all the collation is done, and they move it to another collation center, bring the result manually. While already results fly, you know, but you wait for, because by law they are the ones that have authority to announce the result, and then election will be conducted today. You see the next day being announced. We should have passed this stage, but you know, like I said,
who does it benefit? Is it the politicians? Because it has to be benefiting somebody for us to still be practicing this type of election in this part of the world?
If our leaders understand that we ought to have passed this stage, but we are dragging foot, who do you blame? It's the people who are responsible. Because you don't tell me why why we have technology being used as tools to engage in election, yet you still have a manual system being part of it, say collation, because voting starts and ends at the polling unit. But when you move to collation center, ward, collection center, local government, what is this? And you find that when you are saying moving the result to the collection center, ward collection center, local government collection center, and then when it comes to that of president, collection center, the state. Now, collection center, the federal.
And now I'm talking about cutting cost of governance.
You see, all this process. One, you're spending a heavy amount. You engage thousands of security men.
Adult staff.
To be involved. Adult staff to be involved. And then give out money. And that's why period of election, we spend what we are supposed to spend for 4 years in terms of money, conducting an election. You now ask yourself, why, what is happening? But as we that drama wouldn't.
No. That's why I asked the question. Who is it benefiting? Is it the
It's not the person that is benefiting. It's benefiting those who are in charge, who are approving these things to work this way. And we have to say the truth. Those who are in charge are those who are running government.
Because they say most times they want to see visible evidence.
Which are visible.
Maybe to present in court. But if you go digital, what evidence do you have?
What's the sense of biometric capturing of one's data as electorate? Then it's in the system. Once you come to the voting place, you be accredited electronically. You be accredited. You strip your face. You match either you thumbprint or capture your face.
Yeah.
You see that you are there. You're a registered voter. Fine. You cast your vote. You give you a paper to cast your vote. Then after the voting process, then they do certain counting. After counting, they declare the result at the polling unit. Enter the result from EC8A.
That can be manipulated, Ken. That can be manipulated.
I mean, enter the result at in the form EC8A. Now, scan it and upload. The result has been uploaded. Agents who signed the result are there, observing this process. Yeah. Then, my worry is, why now saying, take this thing again, move to collection center. You wait for the collection center, they tabulate. After tabulating the collection center, local ward, you go to local government. But good thing is, even this one, the collection, both ward and local, we are done in the same arena. Because you find that some of these electoral malpractice is even done, some of these things are done at the process of moving to the collection center.
Moving to the collection center, exactly.
You see where results are already there. They will now swap. You swap them. And you find out that they will be the same paper, because you will see there is a connivance between the umpire and those who are
politicians
doing that thing. You bring you the same paper, but what will be different now is the result. It's the result. And then you bring it during the process of moving to another collection center, they will just swap it because they had the discussion very well and how they want to implement it. But then, you will do the voting, protect your vote, because if you don't protect your vote,
something could happen.
You will regret it.
All right, quickly, our time is fast spent. Obinna, now seeing the lessons learned in Anambra election, what solution do you prefer to the electoral umpire and those that are concerned with the elections in Nigeria, concerning the coming elections and of course the 2027 election?
Well, my first message is that our votes count. Everybody should now know our votes count. There should be improvement in the voting process so that the confidence of the people will return, and then people can vote from outside Anambra, because the Anambra society has transcended our usual villages and communities. So there should be improvement, so we'll take it and it becomes truly digital. The next one is that the INEC, as a people, should also remove themselves away from all the controversies that used to mar the image of INEC. So that people will trust the umpire. When they trust the umpire, they will have the confidence to come back. And people should also know that if you don't participate in the voting process, you must abide by the decision of the person who was elected by that simple majority. And I also want to tell us to begin to also help in letting people know that money in exchange of votes is not the right thing. People should, begin to, imbibe integrity. They should be also look at being disciplined to know that if you somebody buys your vote, he does not owe you anything after that vote buying, because he already paid you off for the job you did for him. You may actually lose that privilege to begin to criticize somebody who actually purchased your vote.
No moral right to complain tomorrow. Actually, we learn every day. And of course, the last Saturday's election in Anambra State was another opportunity for everyone to learn and, of course, to do better the next time. I would like to appreciate our guest this morning that, summarizing all that was said here, there's always room for improvement. And we thank you so much, Ken, for your time this morning. Thank you so much, Nnamdi, for coming on the show. All right, and that's... Oh, sorry. Sorry. All right, and that's just about it on our discussion segment this morning on Good Morning Anambra Show. Thank you so much for watching. My name is Nonya Nwokoye.
And I'm Ajuluchuku Okabwe. Good morning.